Welcome to episode 30 of the Eye of Terror podcast. I'm George.
And I'm Alec.
And we play 40K. Okay, it's our end of the year wrap up. It's our review of some of the best of 40K for 2016. Plus, we have, I would say, probably the most exciting rumor section.
Yeah, in a
while.
And,
Just amazing rumors on the way.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, so we'll get into our picks for best of 2016 a little bit later, and we'll get into our battle report. But first off, let's start off with a little hobby progress. So, been working on the Thousand Suns rubric Marines.
Oh yeah,
looking amazing.
Oh yeah, the models are fantastic. They're probably some of the most detailed, like for foot soldiers. I mean, how incredibly detailed they are. The aspiring sorcerer really could be like a source, like a regular sorcerer in his own right.
Yeah. The rubric Marines have just been a joy to paint.
Yep.
They look awesome. The details come through. I started off by using Army Painter's blue primer color. Mm-hmm. So prime them all in an ultramarine blue, and then have been using the new Thousand Suns blue base paint. So they have base paint. They've got an ink. I used Army Painter blue tone ink to bring out details, and that's as far as I've gotten so far.
Yeah.
But they're looking amazing so far, and I think they're going to turn out to be phenomenal.
Oh yeah, these could be some of the best models we have.
Yeah. So yeah, they're just awesome. So been working on that. Apart from that, I keep staring at the Corvus Blackstar guiltily. So I haven't finished that yet.
It's gonna happen.
It's next on my list.
It's gonna happen.
I've got some Ravenwing models, some Forge World Ravenwing models, the ones with the metal wings. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And the lightning claws.
Oh yeah, the 30K models, right?
The 30K models
for Raven Guard.
Yeah, for Raven Guard. That's it for Raven Guard. And so I might build those guys next if I don't build my Leviathan next.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, because those guys look awesome. So that's as far as I've gotten. It's been a busy week because I've been trying to wrap up stuff for work, end of the year, get everyone paid.
Yep.
Christmas shopping,
all that stuff.
Yeah, you're not getting anything this year, just so you know.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right. So excited. I'm having fun. Painting's relaxing in the midst of all of this craziness. And Warhammer TV is making it fun.
Oh yeah. They have had GW's had this like wonderful change of attitude.
Oh, totally.
This year, and it's been great.
Totally. I checked out the preview on the Twitch channel. They're now broadcasting Warhammer TV, now broadcasting live, Age of Sigmar and 40K games. And the first ever broadcast was the Thousand Suns and Magnus versus the Space Wolves. And in turn two, Magnus got killed by some sort of hellstorm weapon.
It was a toughness save he had to make, right?
Yeah, the toughness save. Because he's got the Space Wolves have those weapons that shoot frozen stuff at you,
and you have to like pass a toughness test with your move.
And he failed.
And apparently didn't they math hammer and it was like a 2%
like a
chance.
2% chance.
Something
of that
ridiculous.
Yeah, he just made all the wrong rolls, and so for
great value in Warhammer TV clearly.
Exactly. So that was really fun. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's a subscription service. I forget how much it is, but I haven't subscribed yet, but I'm probably going to because it's the perfect thing to have on while you're painting. Yeah. Okay. So rumors. Let's get into the rumor section because they're just too exciting. What's the big rumor?
Fall of Cadia.
That's
Fall of Cadia.
Yeah.
Fall of Cadia. Oh
no, Cadia is A-okay.
No, idiot. According to regimental standard, perfectly fine.
Everything is fine.
Everything's fine, but you're being redeployed there.
Right.
But don't worry, it's all good.
Everything's fine.
It's perfectly good.
No. So the big news is that, and GW has confirmed this on Warhammer TV of all places, that Fall of Cadia is going to be the new supplement, a new
storyline.
Yeah, part of the new storyline in 2017 January, and along with that comes the release of some exciting new models. Not the least of which is Saint Celestine from the Sisters of Battle and her bodyguards. And looks awesome.
Yeah, she looks pretty good. She looks really good actually.
Really dynamic, flying in the air.
Flying in the air.
There's like John
Saintly
doves flying around. Yeah. She looks great.
Pretty good.
And the new bodyguards look super tough.
They look great. They look great.
Tough, and they've got like these customized jetpacks, jump packs, and they look awesome. So Sisters of Battle have everyone excited. When that army gets released,
everyone's gonna go crazy.
It will be the best-selling army in GW by GW in a long time.
Everyone's gonna be buying them. There's just been so much hype for it. This is admittedly sort of like dipping their toes into the Sisters of Battle.
Yeah.
Because this is just Saint Celestine and her bodyguard, but it's a start. So that's pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Along with the Sisters of Battle, are a couple of releases. There's a new Inquisitor.
Yep.
Yeah, a female Inquisitor. I think she's Order Hereticus.
Order Hereticus. She's got like this like crossbow-looking bolt gun. Yeah. Which looks quite fun. She has a really nice model. So I'll be interested to see what her involvement in the storyline is. Yeah,
I think the storyline is that the Black Templars have been sent to stop a Chaos incursion from the Eye of Terror.
Well, they're contributing to like the Battle of Cadia, right? Or similar. It's a similar situation. Yeah, it's going on in tandem with that. I think isn't it like a crusade or something.
Yeah, there's a new crusade. I think it's part of the 13th crusade. The main attack's happening.
Well, Abaddon, but they're waging their own crusade into the Eye of Terror, I think.
Where the Black Templars are?
Black Templars.
We'll find out.
Led by Saint Celestine.
We'll find out.
And then the big guy.
Oh yeah, Belisarius Call is the new AdMech Carnifex-sized Archmagos. Awesome. Just the most amazing model.
The Blanchiest.
GW is just crushing it. It is more John Blanche than anything John Blanche has ever drawn, it seems. It's just so full of details. It's just
so much going on with that model. So much.
Large model, a toughness 6 by,
apparently,
according to the rumors. Toughness 6 model.
Like wound 5.
5 wounds.
You need like anti-tank armor to deal with that thing.
Yeah, he's there's some of the lore that's been released is that he's like 10,000 years old, and apparently he's been up to something during this time. We'll find out when the supplement gets released. But he looks amazing. I of course have a AdMech army, so he's a must buy.
Oh yeah,
he's just awesome. What a great distraction Carnifex to have on the table.
Well, he'll be a bit slow moving, I'd imagine.
Don't matter. He's going to have so many weapons and so many cannicles.
We'll find out. We'll find out. We don't know what benefits
we don't know. Reap. We don't know yet. So it looks 2017 is looking to be
quite the
from
year.
A 40K perspective, looking awesome. It's going to have launch with some great new models and obviously a new storyline.
A new storyline featuring chaos. So hopefully more chaos stuff will be released too.
And it's happening in Cadia, so I'm also hoping that part of that will be Imperial Guardsmen.
This looks involved. It looks like it's going to be we're going to have a very Imperial versus Chaos year storyline year.
Yeah.
So we're both going to be happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with all the upgrades to Chaos recently, now there's reason to put them, feel those armies on the table.
We'll be talking about that later in greater length.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so let's take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the best of 2016. All that when we return. And we're back. Okay, what a year for GW.
Oh yeah, it's been good.
First off, I want to congratulate GW on this amazing turnaround and now actually engaging with the community.
Yep.
In a way that makes us want to sort of like root for you guys.
It really does, because like before there had been sort of rumblings that was like GW had felt sort of cold, corporate.
Yeah, like you were just trying to sell us models and paints and just shut up and give us your money.
Yeah, it's like
sort of a thing.
Hey, let's just give the Eldar the proud rules so we can sell their models. Woo!
Right.
But now it seems there's been sort of a change in attitude, and I appreciate that quite a bit.
Yeah,
and I think we all do, really.
A total change in attitude, and now there's a lot of engagement happening on their Facebook page. The Warhammer TVs come out, the Duncan Rhodes, painting guides, as well as all sort of like the rumor confirmations that are coming up from Rob and the other guys on the social media team from GW. make it really fun, make the company sound like really fun and like they're
Yep.
like they're part of the community that we all have.
Yeah.
So first off, let's start off with that. Just as that's been an amazing turnaround by GW. New management's come in and really made, I think, a huge difference in the way the company's being perceived by the community. So thank you, GW. We see it, we appreciate it, and keep it up, please. All right, with that, let's get into the best of 2016.
The best.
All right, so we have two general categories. We're going to have the best models of 2016.
Yep.
And then overall releases by GW, best of 2016, according to us. All right, so Alex, what's your number? Let's start with models.
Well, let's start with. We should probably start off with our Reddit and honorable mentions.
Oh, okay. So let's start. Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with our honorable mentions first.
Honorable mentions.
Okay, honorable mentions. They didn't make our top 3, but we still love them. We thought they turned out really awesome. So our honorable mentions. The first one is the Sisters of Silence.
Yeah, these they just great models. Really, just fantastic looking, badass.
Yeah,
crazy models.
Making female models look tough and cool without giving into stereotypes, I think, is something that GW took seriously. And yeah, the models still have kind of boob plate,
boob.
But the sisters are all business, and the models with the details are absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
Just a great job. I thoroughly enjoyed painting them. Also, the rules for them are great.
Yep,
They're very fluffy.
Yep.
They work really well. So great job, GW. Sisters of Silence is one of our honorable mentions. All right, take the next one.
All right, next up on our list is the Custodes. They finally got their own models, and they look very ornate, very regal and powerful looking. They have some actually pretty good rules. Not crazy, a game-changing amazing, but they have pretty good and fluffy rules that I really think capture sort of the below Primarch, above Space Marine feel of them.
I still think they're expensive, but in terms of the models themselves, they're awesome. They're incredibly gothic and, as you said, ornate and very detailed. And I think they sort of fulfill what the fluff has sort of described them as.
Yeah, I
right.
Totally agree.
I think they're great. I'm looking forward to either playing with them or playing against them in 2017. So, all right, so on our honorable mention list. Next, the Chaos Knight.
Oh,
all right.
Oh, yeah.
After a couple of years of people, creating homebrew versions of it, GW officially released a Chaos Knight in plastic.
Yep.
They did it with that Double Knight board game.
Yeah.
Right.
Double Knight board game.
I forgot what it's called. Imperial Knight.
It wasn't a crazy.
It was like their version of BattleTech or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. And so,
anyway,
people weren't crazy about the game, but it made Chaos Knights in plastic available, and people were very excited about that because it came with 2 kits to build 2 fully equipped knights.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chaos Knight looked awesome.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, and the rules were officially released for the Chaos Knight, which is fantastic.
And it was very highly customizable, and it was all quite fun.
So the next on my honorable mentions list is a series of paints. It's the Thousand Suns Blue and Airman Blue paint line. Been painting with those, and I got to tell you, after painting so many models, black, red, and gold, and lead belcher, it's kind of a joy to paint with these new paints. They're first of all, GW paints this year seem to have gotten a little bit better in quality.
Yeah,
they flow better. They provide enough detail. But the pigments are just sort of super high quality. They really sort of pop on the model, and the Thousand Suns Blue especially has just been really great. I was literally smiling as I was painting the Thousand Suns Rubric Marines because of this paint. It just looks so beautiful on them. So I buy a lot of paint throughout the year. I probably have way too much paint, but this one is just been fun to work with. So paint from GW gets an honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we asked Reddit
the
same question that we asked ourselves, and that what was the best releases of 2016? And far and away, the number one answer on Reddit was Death Watch Overkill. Man, you guys really love Death Watch Overkill as a box set.
Yeah.
Reddit user So Not in Office listed his favorites, and that included Deathwatch Overkill. Kill Team Cassius was incredible, and the Gene Stealer cult models were an awesome look at the newly revived faction. And then other people also had their point of view on this. Let's see. Boy Adventurer said, I've bought like 10 of the standard Deathwatch Kill Team box, still making unique dudes. Right? So Deathwatch. B. Bowack says, I love Deathwatch Overkill. The game's great fun, and the models look great. We had 26 responses on the question, and I think most of them mentioned Deathwatch Overkill or Deathwatch. The next most mentioned item on that list was Gene Stealer cults. Man, people love the Gene Stealer cult.
Understandable.
Models.
Like it was an old army that was really sort of obscure to a lot of new players, and it was revived in this really bombastic faction with an entire new model line, like really great looking models and apparently very interesting rules.
Yeah, so. Models were gorgeous. Not my aesthetic, but I can appreciate the details that went into them. And apparently the rules have been great in terms of playing them, because they have very unique, fluffy ways of playing on the battlefield.
And the fluff behind the Gene Stealer cults, I love it. It's fantastic. It really adds like really weird, like creepy vibe to the Tyranid faction as a whole. Yeah.
So Gene Stealer cults. All right. So next on the Reddit list was the Burning of Prospero box. People like us responded to those models to have MK3 armor, as well as Custodes, and have a new Airman model, and to get Sisters of Silence all in one box was pretty incredible.
It was, the models just looked really well detailed and just wonderfully fluffy.
Yeah, with the release of the new Traitor Legions book, it makes me want to start a Mark III Chaos army.
Well, weren't there talks of Iron Warriors, perhaps?
Yeah, there's talks of Iron Warriors. Okay, so let me just say that. Let me just say, all right. So after Traitor Legions came out, we'll get to that in a second.
Yep.
I got all excited about the possibility of creating an Iron Warriors army. The first time I'm going to create a Chaos army for myself. Right? You have played Chaos exclusively, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. You always play Chaos or Xenos. You never play the Imperial.
Though I might, but I'll get to those reasons later.
Okay. But the new rules came out, and I like the idea of a Chaos army with hazard stripes. So of course I'm drawing.
Of course, you just love hazard stripes, man. If you've ever seen his Instagram, hazard stripes are on pretty much all of your Iron Hand stuff.
As they should be.
They
Safety
do look pretty
first in the 41st millennium. That's what I said. So anyway, the Burning Prospero box is great. Great value too for what you get.
Oh yeah, really.
Yeah, we don't have it yet, but we might get it.
We might. We don't play Space Wolves, so that's sort of.
Yeah, nobody wants. I mean,
we don't want. We're not into. We admit we're not really into the whole space Viking thing.
Yeah,
I get it.
Not our vibe.
Not our aesthetic.
It's fine if you are.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
No judgment, man.
And...
No, it's fine. I've played against Space Wolves. They're tough. They're tough little puppies.
They are. Oh my god.
Okay. All right. So let's get into our best of 2016. Let's start off with the models. Okay. Number 3 on your list, Alec, was
Magnus the Red.
Why Magnus?
Okay, so Magnus is, I think they're maybe like one of their biggest 40k models to date.
Yeah.
Certainly, I think their biggest unique character. I'd say, and while there are certain things I'm not crazy about, like the nipple horns.
Right.
The overall look and feel of the character feels very powerful, ornate, and very much like a Primarch. His stat line's great, but the model itself just looks really well detailed, and it really does evoke the feelings it should of just power.
So I can go with that.
Yeah.
in terms of comparing like Magnus the Red with a Bloodthirster, which is about equivalent size.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, the Magnus the Red model to me looks like more, just like tougher.
Well, because I think there's just more of an intelligence and a sort of like.
Bloodthirster looks like something like creature that's just filled with rage.
Yeah,
and hate, it's just coming at you.
It's coming at you.
It's a cool, it's an awesome
you.
model.
Yeah.
But Magnus the Red looks like it's a source of power.
Like he has like a genuine like hold over a certain level of arcane might.
Right. So I love that model. I think it's great. I'm also intimidated by that model. Yeah. All right. My number 3 on the best of 2016 is the Corvus Blackstar, which is the flyer for the Death Watch. Awesome model. To me, the best looking flyer in the 40K lineup. It's beautiful. I got one, and I'm in the midst of putting it together and painting it. I can't wait to see it fully painted out. It looks awesome. To me, it looks like a combination of the 40K aesthetic and Aliens, a dropship in Aliens.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah, totally what they were going for, and they succeeded magnificently. It looks fantastic. You can make it as ornate as you want, or you can make it as utilitarian as you want to, but it's still going to look like an awesome model. So I love the Corvus Blackstar. It is my number 3. All right, your number 2.
My number 2 is the Gene Stealer Goliath truck.
Why a truck?
The truck, it just looks like so thoroughly, for lack of a better word, Imperial. I mean, it's clearly been jacked by the forces of the Gene Stealer cults, but it just adds a lot of like, it gives me more of a sense of what life must be like on these hive worlds.
I mean, it looks like it's a utility.
It's like this utilitarian, brutalist design of this like really bulky truck used mostly for like mining or armored escort or whatever. It just looks wonderful. It's a wonderful callback to the old hilarious limo model, which is the funniest thing.
Yeah,
the funniest thing.
Yeah, it's to me, I love that model because it is unlike most of the Imperium stuff.
Yeah,
it's not gothic and overwrought and ornate. It looks
which it should be, because it should be like very straight, simple, to the point, because this is mostly like a vehicle used by workers.
Right. It looks like a construction truck.
Exactly.
One that will quickly kill you. Wonder if OSHA would approve of the Goliath truck. It also reminds me of the drill in Total Recall.
Yeah.
So it's a great model. Yeah. All right. My number 2 are the Thousand Suns Exalted Sorcerers. Oh my God, these guys are completely ornate. I think of the new Thousand Suns line, these guys are the best model kit. It just first off, you can customize each of the Exalted Sorcerers to make them exactly how you want.
Yep.
They're all running on discs of Tzeentch.
Or not if you
want them to. But they look fantastic.
Yeah.
The detail is amazing. The beaky Exalted Sorcerer head looks awesome because it's not just the regular beaky helmet. It's like a really
very ornate beak helmet with like gold trimmings and all that.
Looks awesome.
Each one of those models looks like it could be a unique character.
Right.
It looks like it could be like a named guy.
Yeah, like they look like the owners of Silver Towers. Like
they do.
These guys are like we rule over our own.
Like we literally have our own like miniature fort. Every single one of us commands a miniature flying fortress.
Right. And also the model kit itself leaves you with so many extra bits once you're done that you're gonna have so many great little pieces of plastic to upgrade your Thousand Suns army. So it's a fantastic kit, and the models look beautiful. So that's my number 2 for best of 2016. Alec, what's your number 1?
Ahriman. Okay, so
which Ahriman? There's young Ahriman, and then there's 40K Ahriman.
40K Ahriman.
Yeah.
The young Ahriman can't take anything away from that. That looks fantastic in and of itself. But I really like the new direction sort of for the Ahriman model. It looks a lot more dynamic, while the other one looks a bit flat. flat pose. I like the decision to give him a disc of Zinch. Certainly adds a bit of mobility, and really, it elevates him. It really just elevates the model, so he's standing above all of his weaker competition. The little details, like the glowing hand with like sorceress power emanating from it, that looks great. Sort of the minor changes to the armor from like the 90s sort of rock and roll aesthetic, I think were a big improvement. And it really I can certainly believe that that's like one of the most powerful psychers of the 40K universe.
I came close to picking Arman instead of Thousand Suns Exalted Sorcerers, but I went with the overall kit because it had just so many possibilities with all the bits.
Oh yeah,
but I can't disagree with your choice. It is a stunning model. So it's your number one. My number one is the Deathwatch Kill Team box. Yeah, fantastic. I didn't think I was going to get into Deathwatch, and then when the models started coming out and the Corvus Blackstar came out, I'm like, I better start a new army. And the Deathwatch Kill Team box, first off, is just a great value. It gives you 10 Deathwatch Marines with so many customizable bits. The storm shields, the tall storm shields, are freaking awesome. The weapons, like the frag cannon, amazing. First of all, looks great. Looks very Imperium, but plays amazingly. Then you're left with all of these extra parts so you can continue to make more Deathwatch, including the shoulder pads for Deathwatch. You get 2 Terminator shoulder pads and a whole bunch of, I think, like 16 shoulder pads overall with the kit.
You literally cannot help but think of like storylines and personalities for each of the models. That's how good they are.
Yeah, they totally encourage customization. They have all these different heads on them and stuff, so you can just mix and match.
Yeah, there's just so much like personality in them too. They're just.
And they're wearing the Mark 8 armor with the gorgets, and the model, the armor itself looks amazing and awesome, and an upgrade over typical Mark 6, Mark 7, armor. Fantastic with the customization, with the different weapon loadouts, with the detail on the shoulder pads for each of the legions, as well as the Deathwatch, shoulder pad. Fantastic! What a great value, and just the most beautiful models. Probably the models that I am proudest of so far have been my Deathwatch Kill Team models. So that's why they're number one on my best of 2016 for models.
Entirely understandable. They're great, fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's get into overall releases. This is the best of the best from 2016 from GW. The things that we thought were the best releases from GW. So let's start off with the number 3 on your list.
All right, number 3 on my list is Traitor's Hate. It helps. So this is part of the Black Crusade storyline that's going on. The advancement of the storyline I always value. While this isn't like a crazy like change up really. I think the fluff is nice, but not only that, but it gave us some really, really good formations for Chaos that I really benefited. The Raptor Talon with the turn 1 charging, the Lost in the Dams, like recover your cultists on a 4+. That's nice. Objective secured for your entire little Chaos Warband. That's amazing. And we'll see how that pairs up with a certain other book later. But yeah, I think it really helps out Chaos in the end. It was a really great value.
All right. My number 3 was Angels of Death, a completely unexpected Codex supplement for Space Marines.
Yep.
No one expected it.
No one.
No one. What? Space Marines need an upgrade? and yet they did. They got it. It included new formations, which is fantastic, and then it had all of the crazy new psychic powers.
Yep.
Which I haven't really seen too much on the table.
No, I haven't seen them.
No, but still fantastic. As a way of sort of upgrading people that did not need upgrades in a fun way, Angels of Death I thought did a great job. It made my Iron Hands even more playable, which is fantastic. It has some formations which gives them an extra, +1 to their feel no pain. So that it allows me to literally go out with a chapter master on a bike and a command squad on bikes, and this chapter master will have a 2-up armor save, a 3-up invuln save, and then a 2-up feel no pain. Crazy, but that's some of the crazy rules that you get in Angels of Death.
Why?
Because of the formations. Really, it's fun, and I think it was an overall improvement to Space Marines. But that and the psychic powers makes it my number 3 for 2016. All right, number 2.
My number 2 is Wrath of Magnus. Okay, again, advancing the storyline, which I always think is important. Giving the Thousand Sons a storyline. That's also cool, because they haven't really been prominent in any of the Chaos fluff. They haven't really seemed to do a lot, which makes them seem sort of ineffectual in the universe. So actually having them be proactive and like really causing havoc for such like a mainstay of 40K, the Space Wolves, and sort of get a little bit of revenge, I think that really helps their image of being like a force to be reckoned with. Not only that, but introducing what is essentially its own I guess like a Blood Angels or Dark Angels sort of equivalent in terms of having like your like a sort of unique Chaos Space Marines army to field. That's fantastic. The new models look great. The rules are pretty crazy. The rules, I've seen some of them. I haven't seen all of them, but I have seen some of them, and they're just, the amount of just psychic DACA you can put out there is madness.
And the return of a Primarch to 40K, I think, is a huge deal.
Yeah, that's a massive situation. I don't know how the Space Wolves are gonna get out of this one.
Well, I think Wrath of Magnus means Chaos is back, and it was really the first way. I didn't think the Black Legion book.
It was fine.
Right.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I think that added a few things, but it didn't really fix Chaos.
Cyclopia Cabal's been nice, but it was like a lot. A lot of it was sort of.
But this supplement, along with your number 1, really did a great job in fixing Chaos. All right, my number 2 is Angel's Blade. Yep. Angel's Blade, the Blood Angels Codex supplement, fantastic. It has given my Blood Angels and made them a little bit more competitive, a little more fun to play again.
Yeah.
I've been neglecting them because, frankly, they just didn't have what it took to be on a modern battlefield. In recent days. But Angel's Blade gave us the ability to take an all-Death Company army. Crazy fluff, and in the right hands, really powerful.
Yep.
Fantastic. Most of the relics, not good.
No, not good.
But there were a couple of good ones.
Yeah, there was some stuff.
A couple of good ones. Also, formations like the Golden Host, which allows the Sanguinary Guard to come in on turn 1 and charge, is
terrifying,
phenomenal, and awesome. So Angel's Blade, I think, gave a venerable army some great upgrades with some fun new formations and fun new rules. I loved it. Plus, the fluff in it was one of the few supplements where I actually read the fluff.
Yeah, so the same thing for me with Traitor.
Yeah, didn't I mostly just skipped through the fluff. I'm like, just get to the rules so that I can play this army and know what to buy.
Yeah.
But I actually read it, and I enjoyed the whole story of the Blood Angels' point of view and the same series of events that was happening in Traitor's Age.
Yeah, I thought that was neat to have two different perspectives for the same battle.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Number 1, your number 1 overall release from GW for 2016 is
Traitor Legions. There was not any doubt. Because this, we'll talk more about this later. We'll go into more detail. But this is what Chaos needs, man. This is what Chaos Space Marines need. It makes every Legion, if not competitive, at the very least, viable, and more importantly, fun. It gives everyone their own unique flavor. So that way you don't feel like you're just like, oh, it's a band of chaos. They don't have an identity. They're just sort of a mass of Space Marines that's gone crazy and aren't as good.
No, Thousand Suns are going to play different from Death Guard, which are going to play different from Alpha Legion.
Yep, which are going to play different from World Leaders, which are going to play different from Emperor's Children. It's all so fluffy, and a lot of it is really powerful.
A lot of what you were asking for in all the prior episodes of what GW needed to do to fix chaos got done in this book.
Really, they really have. Not everything's been addressed. Not everything's been addressed.
Right.
But really, this makes chaos a really violent. Because I have not touched chaos for a while now.
Right.
For a while now, because I just didn't feel like they were viable against really any army. It felt like they were just like the weakest thing in the world. So giving them like this extra sense of like value with all these crazy new rules added to their base forms, it's fantastic. It's essential for if you're a Chaos Space Marine player and you do not have this for whatever reason, get it now.
There you go.
Now.
There you go. This book has made me want to play Chaos.
Yeah.
For the first time ever. Right.
I know. It made him.
I know.
Imperial scum.
Imperial scum. I'm a die-in-the-wool Imperium guy, and suddenly I'm like, oh.
Ooh, wow. Those are some crazy rules.
Those are some crazy rules. Yeah, exactly. All right. My number one best release for 2016 from GW was the Death Watch Codex. All right. Death Watch was an army that I didn't think I was going to want.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
The models were the hook. And then the rules kind of like was the final thing that just got me. Like, I got to play this army. It's awesome. I don't know if I want to feel the whole Death Watch army because I think they're so expensive.
It could be fun against Thousand Suns.
But in terms of the fluff, the look of the army, the way you can bring them in as, for me, allies, I see this as a tool that I can use practically with any scenario whatsoever. If I have a contingent of Death Watch, they're going to put in some great work and look really cool doing it.
Oh yeah, it's
right.
Like, these are the action. This is the action hero army.
This is totally the action. It's an army full of Rambos.
Yeah.
And Chuck Norrises and Bruce Lees.
Everyone looks and feels awesome in this army. And what more could you want from an army? Really, what more could you want when every single unit just looks like they kick ass?
Oh, and they do. I was playing the Death Watch against Arthur's Space Wolves.
Yeah.
And so, of course, he had invisible Space Wolves and, whatever.
Oh, Arthur.
Yeah, 30 Blood Claws. I dropped in a drop pod with a team of Death Watch kill team.
Yep.
And that frag, oh my God. It just like wiped out so many of his units. And then the rest of the guys were able to sort of mop up most of the other guys. Fantastic.
Yep.
Now, they're Space Marines, so they're going to die.
Yeah,
like normal Space Marines with pretty much with 3-up, failed 3-up armor save rolls or their invuln saves.
But they have the tools to get their job done.
Right. Now with the addition of Imperial agents, which allows you to bring a Death Watch kill team, and it gives you a general formation in there. You can pretty much use the kill team, the Death Watch rules to ally, and like fix and or solve any deficiency you might have in your army. Yeah. So good. So that they are my number one. The Death Watch Codex is my number one release for 2016. So thank you, GW. Good job on that army. Okay. All right. So we'd love to hear from you guys. What did you think is the best release of 2016? Send us an email. We're the Eye of Terror podcast at gmail.com. We will, in our next podcast, mention if you guys send us some ideas of what you guys thought were the best. Okay, so we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to give you our viewpoint on the new releases, Traitor Legions and Imperial Agents, all that and more when we return. Okay, we're back. Okay, some exciting new releases came out this year, just recently. We have them right here. Imperial Agents
and Traitor Legions.
Okay. Overall, I want to say that far and away, that's the better book. That's the better book. So let's get into Imperial Agents quick, because I think we can get through this pretty quickly. First of all, hardback.
Hardback, yep.
right? As opposed to softback.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It was a bit odd.
I think GW expected to sell more of this one than this one.
I would imagine so.
And it's obvious why. Imperial Agents overall, great book. I would say most of the artwork in here is stuff we've seen before.
Yeah, I think most of everything in there is what we've seen before.
Oh well, yeah. I think that generally categorizes the content in here. It basically takes a number of the different sort of factions that aren't found in the typical codices and puts them all in one book. So you've got
no Custodes or Sisters of Silence, and I don't know why.
I don't know. You've got Admech, you've got Deathwatch, you got Grey Knights, you've got Inquisition, you have Sisters of Battle, you've got the Imperial Navy, you have the Astra Telepathica, and here you have the Assassins.
The Assassins,
right?
Always good fun.
All right, so
and it's not their full armies either. It's not a collection of their full armies. This is more a book that allows you to field like small assistant groups of like various Imperial forces,
right,
that you can use to like help you out a bit.
There's a few new formations. None of them are meta busting. None of them are must-have formations. Yeah. Some of them are helpful. Like I think like having the ability to field one in a Storm Priest, who can give you reroll your armor saves and invuln saves.
You love those priests.
Oh, I love the priests.
He loves those priests.
Because look, you put a priest with a bunch of Terminators, right? It gives the Terminators Zealot, and they can re-roll their invuln saves and their armor saves. Wow, that's fantastic.
Yep.
All right, but now under these rules, you can actually do that.
Yep.
The big excitement around this book was the Sisters of Battle, because for the first time we thought we're going to see updated rules. For the most part, we're not really getting updated rules.
Then I think we're gonna have to wait for a full codex.
Yeah, we are. I think this gives you a taste of what's there. For the most part, it's the sisters we all know and love, and the models that are listed here are the ones that are in metal.
Yeah.
For the most part, the new Canoness of Viridian isn't in here. And obviously the new Saint Celestine and her bodyguard are not in here.
Yep.
So that tells me that there's a full codex going to come out in 2017.
It's going to be coming.
And then hopefully Sisters in Battle in Sisters of Battle in plastic too.
Well, of course they have to.
Right.
They have to.
Right. Everything that's in here is stuff we've seen before for the most part. You're buying this book because it's convenient to have all of the rules for all these esoteric, factions all in one place.
Now, I must admit, I might want to do some sort of crazy Inquisition, just a bunch of crazy random forces gathered from all the Imperium into one army. I might just want to do that.
Well, that would be fun.
It would, because this makes it pretty convenient to do so, and I've sort of had that in the back of my mind for a long time, because I always enjoy the sort of the unique feel of the Inquisition and how specialized the units are, and then plus with Deathwatch and the Assassins, and I've always enjoyed the sort of covert operations feel
to have an Inquisition
group,
a war band
with maybe an Ordo Xenos or something like that,
right.
So you can bring along Deathwatch,
right,
plus Assassins,
right,
plus whatever else you like, the Telepathica or whatnot. Astropath and
a couple of Valkyries.
Valkyrie.
Yeah,
it's the Inquisitor's requisitioned little force to go.
I'm gonna say this is not a must-have. Okay, unless you really are drawn to one of the particular factions in here, I'm not sure whether you're gonna want to spend $50 on a codex or $40 on a codex supplement like this. Again, I like the book, and I think it's pretty cool, and it makes it very convenient, but it's not a must-have. I think you're going to get more value getting the Deathwatch Codex or getting the Cult Codex. Mm-hmm. But if you really want to play Inquisition or Sisters of Battle right now, this is your best bet.
Yeah.
So overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this a 7.
Yeah, I'd say it's a
7.
It's a 7.
Yeah.
It's a 7.
Okay, let's get into the meat of it. Let's get into Traitor Legions.
Traitor Legions.
Yep.
Okay. Oh boy.
Okay.
So, This book is just okay. It doesn't have a lot of fluff. Doesn't have a lot of fluff here. It's mostly rules, and that's really to its benefit.
Yep.
Because oh boy, these rules. So we have like some more convenient stuff. Like we have Karn the Betrayer's rules. If you didn't get that already in like Traitor's Hate, we have Aramon. We have all the rules from Wrath of Magnus, or most of them. Most of the rules from Wrath of Magnus, I believe. So most of the new units and the formations and Magnus and all that. We have a Khorne Lord of Skulls for those who don't have that data sheet already. And we also have compiled in here all the formations from Traitor's Hate and all the formations from Black Legion. But the meat of this... of course, and we have 2 new formations, which is the Plague Colony and the Cacophony. But the meat of this is that everyone's getting Legion tactics, essentially. I'm just going to call them Legion tactics, because why not?
Yeah.
Everyone gets Legion tactics, and everyone gets their own detachment. So, right off the bat, we have Veterans of the Long War, which is +1 leadership and hatred of Space Marines. Blanket everyone for free.
That's great.
Everyone for free.
Normally, isn't that like 2 points per model?
It's like but those points eventually add up.
They add up. I mean, if you get a 10-man unit,
and for certain guys,
points.
it's like a lot more. So having this just a blanket free thing, that's great. That's a fantastic start. And all these rules are good to at least a certain degree. Everyone's particularly looking at Death Guard and Emperor's Children, as well as some Alpha Legion.
Mm-hmm.
But all of them you can play, if you have like a Night Lord's army, or if you have a Word Bearer's army that you wanted to do, they will feel like those armies. A great example is what they've done with the Night Lords, which I feel have actually gone a little underappreciated. I feel like they've gone a little underappreciated and overlooked in some of these rules talks. I mean, so they get the Mark of Chaos. They can't take any Marks of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Can't take any Marks of Chaos.
Okay.
No unique units. You obviously, if you have like a Demon Prince, sure, they have to be a demon of whatever. But everyone gets Veterans of the Long War no cost. They all have Fear, Night Fighting, and Stealth special rules. Now that third one, Stealth, for the entire army.
That's pretty powerful.
That's pretty good. Raptors are now troops. That's some nice allusions to like Blood Angels.
Yeah. Thanks. I remember the days when Assault Marines were troops.
Also, you have to subtract 2. The enemy has to subtract 2 to their leadership when making fear tests.
So can you imagine basically trying to do pinning tests on forcing pinning tests on Marines with reduced leadership, and then doing then doing vector strikes with Helltakes? Oh my god.
So there's that, and then on top of that, their detachment gives them, they re-roll, the entire army re-rolls failed charge ranges.
That's cool.
That's crazy. They get the Raptor Talon, the ever famous Raptor Talon with the turn 1 charging, or the turn they come into from Deep Strike. And not only that, but they get Night Wards if they get Night Vision. Sorry, they get Night Fighting. My words. They get Night Fight. I'm sorry. I'm just excited.
He's excited.
I'm excited. It's this is so good.
I remember when we got the book. Like, you did not put it down for 12 hours. You just were going through it.
I know, because it's
backwards and forwards, and you were like making notes, and
because there's just so much. There's just so much here, and there's so many possibilities with all these new artifacts. The artifacts are crazy. Just so many possibilities with all these new detachments. It's great. Oh, it's so good. I mean, the possibility for Night Lords, like Raptor heavy armies, are actually pretty good, considering you can get up the table pretty fast, and with the whole re-rolling charge ranges, that goes great with like the immediately coming in from Deep Strike rules that the Raptor Talon gives you. So Night Lords are fun, but everyone's got stuff. I mean, like Alpha Legion has like Infiltrate for cultists, for Chaos Space Marines and for Chosen, just blanket now. That's not only fantastic, but it's really fluffy. Which is another great thing about this. Like, Word Bearers manifest demonic powers on a free plus, because they're a bunch of crazy zealots who love chaos. And they're like one of the few... Them and Black Legion are the only guys who could take marks of chaos. Which, again, makes sense, because Black Legion is chaos undivided. And Word Bearers are also, like, chaos undivided. They worship all the crazy gods. You have, like, Death Guard, which are horrifying. Like, okay, Death Guard. These guys might be more tough than Necrons.
Right. Describe the different benefits they get under the new rules.
Yeah. So, Veterans of the Long War. Everyone has to take Mark of Nurgle. Unfortunately, that's not free.
Okay.
It'll pay off.
That's +1 toughness?
That's +1 toughness.
Okay. Toughness 5 Marines, tough.
Toughness 5 Marines. Everyone gets Veterans of the Long War for free. Everyone who has Veterans of the Long War gets Fearless.
Okay.
They're never running.
Okay.
That's good. Relentless.
Ooh, wow.
So your Havocs. So, like, your Havocs will just be running around with those las cannons, firing them off.
All right.
Not a care in the world. Not a care in the world. And feel no pain. Toughness 5 Marines.
With feel no pain.
With feel no pain and Relentless. Just walking around. That's great. And not only that, but...
Not quite Decurion Necron level, but certainly
with, like, the 3+ base...
Yeah.
With a 3+ base and
true.
a toughness 5,
Armor
which
3.
is above the Necrons.
That's
Both
true.
of those are above Necrons.
That's true. Wow.
And certainly in a lot of situations,
we'll have to test that.
And it's a lot of
we'll have to test that.
That'll be good. In a lot of situations, they will be tougher.
Yeah.
And they also get a blanket -1 initiative, but that's a minor thing.
Yeah.
Really, when you get that trade off, and not only that, but their detachment is also, like, really, really fantastic. 18, like, if you shoot at them from 18 inches out, they have, I believe, Shrouded.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. No, they have Stealth.
Okay.
Still. And not only that, in the detachment, they get to reroll Feel No Pain rolls of 1. They're disgustingly resilient.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's insane.
That's
It's insane.
We're gonna see some Death Guard.
We're gonna see
LVO,
some Death Guard
I bet.
in the future. Yeah. So, most.
I think we're gonna start. You know what? I think this book means that we're gonna see chaos at the LVO.
Yeah.
I think people are gonna start doing some math hammering on the best formations and
Feel No Pain Nurgle bikers. Feel No Pain Nurgle.
So that's gonna be toughness 6 bikers.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Who reroll 1s. Oh my god.
Who have, like, stealth if you're shooting 18. That's insane.
Yeah, that's
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I love the fluff. It's because of all the flies.
Oh yeah, because they're all it
Right.
just flies around.
Flies.
The fluffiness of these rules are great. Like the Emperor's Children, they all take combat drugs before the fight, so they get, like, random bonuses to their to their stats. That's hilarious. That's great. That's really funny. It's very fitting with the Slaanesh, like, vibe without being weird about it. Because that's sort of a line you have to ride.
Right.
Is you want them to, like, fit the whole crazy hedonism vibe, but you don't want them to be weird.
Well, okay. So take combat drugs. That works.
Okay, and they all get Feel No Pain 6 up, and the Icon of Excess, which everyone's talking about, gives them Feel No Pain 4 up.
Oh wow. Okay.
So everyone's talking about that because that's mad right there. All these rules are really fluffy, like really fluffy. World Eater's got a bunch of reroll charge range stuff and, like, extra movement things that'll get them across the table really fast. So those could like easily rival Khorne Demonkin at this point. Alpha Legion got blanket. I already talked about Alpha Legion's blanket infiltrate.
Right.
The most hilarious rule ever, which a lot of people have talked about, but I need to get this out of my system. When your warlord dies, you could just choose a character. They will generate a new warlord trait. That's your warlord now.
Yeah, good luck getting Slay the Warlord with this rule.
You're almost guaranteed denying the opponent 1 point.
Right.
That's great. It's not only is that's good, it's really fluffy.
Yeah.
Just someone else takes the mantle. It's very in line with Alpha Legion. All in all, this book, 9 out of 10. The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because it's not a codex.
Because it's not a codex, and also they didn't reduce the cost.
They didn't reduce the cost, which is
different units, which are pretty expensive, right?
Which are pretty expensive. So I think that, but at the same time, I think they're evening that out by giving them these rules.
Yeah.
So there's more value to these units now.
Absolutely.
There's a lot more value to these units now. So just really because it's not a new codex, it doesn't fix some of the integral problems that the codex has. Still, this alone makes Chaos either viable or competitive. And what more could you ask for? What more could you ask for? Oh, codex. But
I have not seen you happier with any other GW release.
I'm ecstatic.
Ever. Even when you got a Bloodthirster, you were not this happy.
I know, because even then, that I've been sampling corn so often now. I need other flavors of Chaos.
Yeah.
And this, it's my new flavors. It's my new flavors. I'm a kid in the candy shop.
Okay.
I'm looking at all the different candy.
I think I'm going to be facing a much tougher Chaos army, so I'm in trouble. Thanks a lot, GW, for making my 2017
Hey man, you got
more of a losing year. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Good summary of both books. When we return, we're going to talk about our battle report. It was the Iron Hands versus the brand new Alpha Legion.
Ooh.
We'll get into the specifics when we come back. All right. I need to get my. I'm leaving this rolling for now.
Cool.
I need to get my army list.
Look at you go.
Before I start, though, I'm going to talk about my landing pad.
Your landing? Yeah, that's fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's a long one.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Still recording. All is good. All is good.
Oh, it's good.
Okay. I'm going to put this away. How many minutes are we in? We're in 59 minutes so far. So we'll try not to take too much time because I'm scared of the battery on the GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to start off by talking about this.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on. I actually need to pull out my...
Okay.
Battle script. Yep. Here it is.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, the Fire Raptor. Yeah, the Quad Mortar. And the Sicaran. Sky Shield. Okay. Okay, you got your list?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, we're starting in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're back. All right, before we get into our battle report, I'm going to show something that should have been in the hobby progress, but I'm going to show this off. Okay, hold on. All right, check this out. See that?
Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is?
Obviously a Sky Shield landing pad, but it's also a drone landing pad. You see? I got a new drone a few months ago. I got a new DJI Mavic Pro. And rather than, I sometimes wanted to launch the drone off the beach, and rather than doing it in the sand where it's gonna, mess up the motors and the propellers, I thought, okay, I should buy a landing pad. But then I looked online and a landing pad for a drone. It's just a simple piece of vinyl, and it costs you like $40. And I'm like, I can do better than that.
Yep.
Plus, I can make mine Warhammer related. So
not only will you have a great place to land your drone, but a stylish one as well.
I literally took a picture of the Sky Shield landing pad that I painted, and then got a background texture, and then just used a little Photoshop to put one over the other. And Rain was really helpful in sort of like figuring out all the stuff that I didn't know in Photoshop, and then found an online printer that you can just do sort of vinyl printing.
Now you're gonna be the coolest guy at the beach. Coolest guy at the beach.
No,
yes.
I'm gonna be the nerdiest guy on the beach.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah, the guy with the drone and the Warhammer landing pad.
Cool. We are the coolest guys.
There's gonna be these guys flexing and playing volleyball.
Knees, my friend.
I have a Warhammer landing pad for my Mavic Pro.
Oh yeah.
Where can I launch?
Oh yeah. Nothing cooler.
All right, let's get into our battle report. Okay, Iron Hands versus what did you bring?
Those who shall not be named.
That's what I thought. Okay, Alpha Legion. All right, so let's get into your army. Go over your army list.
All right, so I brought out the Alpha Legion Insurgency Force, which is their new detachment, which essentially gives the entire army... Hold on a moment.
Okay.
While I pull up the rules from my wonderful book. The entire army gets Shrouded first game turn.
Oh, yeah.
And Cult Uprising. Every time you lose, like a squad of cultists dies, you roll. And on a 4+, you get an identical unit that goes into ongoing reserves. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty nice.
All right.
And especially considering they all have Infiltrate. So you'll have a bunch of outflanking cultists showing up. And on top of that, having a formation which does the exact same thing. There's a formation in this book which does the exact same thing. So you roll not only for the detachment, but for that formation.
So you get 2 shots at bringing back your cultists.
2 shots.
Oh my god.
That's Alpha Legion planning for you right there. I think this was kind of a mess up, probably, for in the rules. I don't care. It fits well with them.
Yeah, we need an FAQ.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. It's fine. It's great. It's great. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right, go over the units you brought.
So I had a Chaos Warband with the Chaos Horde. Had a Combi Melta, Melta Bombs, Power Armor, Sigil of Corruption for that 4+ influence save. Oh, and the Mind Veil. This is a new Alpha Legion specific artifact. Basically, instead of moving, your entire unit can make a roll of a 3d6, and that's how much you move. And that replaces your movement. So then now that would come in handy later. Everyone gets Veterans of the Long War, obviously. And he was accompanied by a squad of Chosen, all with Combi Meltas. Every single one had a Combi Melta. They were all in the Chaos Rhino. I had a squad of Chaos Bikers. These guys had Combi Plasma. Or these guys had 2 plasma guns, actually. And the Bike Champion had a Combi Plasma, as well as Melt Bombs. So that's nice. I had a squad of Havocs, all with las cannons. Since I knew you were bringing Iron Hands. Buckle down on that heavy armor destruction. 2 squads of Chaos Space Marines. Both squads had plasma guns. And they all had Veterans of the Long War. So that's my Chaos Warband. Oh, all these guys, by the way, have objective secured. Okay. So a bunch of infiltrating, objective secured dudes. Oh, no, I'm not done. We got a Cult of Destruction with the Warp Smith, Aura Dark Glory, Full Pistol Power Axe, Veterans of the Long War, and 3 Obliterators. All Veterans of the Long War, no upgrades beyond that. And then, the Lost and the Damned. This is that cultist formation. So 4 squads of just regular Chaos Cultists. Didn't even upgrade them. Just 10 men for 50 points.
Wow.
50 points each. Super cheap.
Right.
And the Dark Apostle, who I gave a bolt pistol, a gift of mutation. No, I forgot about that. Icon of Insurrection. Another new artifact from the Alpha Legion book. It essentially gives a 12-inch bubble of Zealot for all Chaos Cultists. That would come in major handy, as you'll see later. And that was my army.
Okay. All right. Strong army with a lot of tricks. It was very tricksy.
It was We both brought more fluffy lists for this one.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't try out my I didn't want to try out the crazy stuff.
And I wanted to play with my toys that I hadn't played with in a while.
Exactly.
So I didn't. I decided to forego formations, and I went with a simple CAD.
Yeah.
Because it allows me a little more freedom to bring in, some of the toys. So my HQ was a Tech Marine with a conversion beamer. Very straightforward.
Yep.
Just no other upgrades.
Very iron hands.
For elites, I had a Contemptor Mortis Dreadnought with 2 Curie's assault pattern cannons.
Yep.
Yeah, that allows for 12, shots.
It's crazy.
Heavy 6 with rending, strength 6, AP 4 with rending. Yeah, so that's tough. And if he stays still, he also has Skyfire. So in case there were any Helldrakes to come, I was ready for that. Another Dreadnought was the Ironclad. He had a Chain Fist with a Melt-A-Gun, and he had a Power Fist with a Heavy Flamer. I had him in a drop pod. My troops had 1 unit of scouts with camo cloaks and sniper rifles. I don't know why I keep bringing these guys, apart from the fact they look cool.
They do look cool. But they don't.
I think that's why. They never perform that well.
They never really do that much.
They killed a few. You know what? They ended up killing a few Marines here and there. Yeah. Yeah. But for the most part, I think they might have killed a Havoc and maybe a Space Marine. But for the most part, I don't learn my lessons about scouts. Everyone loves scouts now. I just don't do well with scouts.
Yeah.
2 tac squads, 1 with a plasma gun, and another one with a las cannon.
All right.
For my heavy support, I brought the Fire Raptor gunship with the twin linked auto cannon. Yeah, and the Avenger bolt cannon, which is a strength 6, heavy 7, AP 3 shooting. That's crazy. It just in terms of wiping out units, that's
fantastic anti-infantry gun.
I had a quad mortar support battery. I haven't had a lot of luck with it in the past,
but it really is it's cheap.
It's cheap. 65 points. 60 points. 60 points.
If you have 60 spare points and you're like,
you can't go wrong.
Why not?
You can't go wrong.
A little extra firepower.
No, it does heavy forward, barrage blasts.
That's a good value.
Or solid shots as well. So you have a choice. So it's
a good value. We just haven't had the best of luck with
we haven't had good luck. I brought a Relics of Karen battle tank with las cannon sponsons.
Yep.
And then I brought the Sky Shield landing pad as my fortification, which gives me a 4-up invuln save on anything that was parked up there at the beginning. And then finally, I included a unit of the Sisters of Silence.
Yeah.
3 of them had flamers, and 2 of them, including a Sister Superior, had the Executioner Great Blade, which is a strength +1, AP2, strikes at initiatives, 2-handed sword. So that was it.
Yep.
Okay. So we played. What mission did we play? We played Maelstrom missions.
Oh yeah, we played a Maelstrom. It was objective. I think it was contact lost.
Contact lost.
Yeah.
So we start off with 1 mission, and then we, depending on the number of objectives we hold, that gave us additional missions.
Sorry, our memories might be hazy on this.
We played a few days ago.
It was a few days ago.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you won table side, so you got to pick your table sides.
Yep.
And you picked the one I did not want, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And then you won deployment as well.
I also won deployment. Yes.
That's right. So you deployed first.
With whatever minimal deployment I actually had.
So talk a little bit about your initial deployment.
My deployment was literally the bike squad, and then the entire Cult of Destruction, and I think that it was the bike squad, Havoc squad, Obliterators, Warpsmith. That's it.
Yeah.
The Havocs and the Obliterators were camped in a building, ready to lay down the smackdown on those Imperial armor, and the bikers were just there, sort of lying in wait.
Yeah.
Waiting for the signal.
I deploy by having on the Sky Shield landing pad. I had the Relics of Karen battle tank.
Yep.
I had my Warlord, the Tech Marine with the conversion beamer up there, as well as the quad mortar battery, all up there. In a bastion nearby, had +1 to cover saves. Was the thanks to the Tech Marine.
Yep.
Was the Scout Squad with sniper rifles.
Yep.
On my right flank, I had the unit of Space Marines with the las cannon. And then hiding in the ruins were Sisters of Silence I also had a Razorback as a dedicated assault,
Yep.
but that was staying empty, and the whole point was for them to jump into that. So
Yeah.
they were hidden out of sight. Sisters of Silence were ready to jump into their Razorback. And then I had my one dreadnought was in reserve in drop pod,
Yep.
and the other dreadnought was sort of hiding in some kind of cover, 5-up cover. He was my Contemptor Mortis dreadnought. He was right in the middle, so he could basically shoot at anything coming up. Okay, so I rolled to seize and I failed to seize.
Oh.
Yeah, so
And
it
then
was.
the rest of my deployment happened.
Then your infiltrators actually came in. Yeah,
Right. Which is the majority of my army, just showed up. So that's 4 squad of cultists just scattered around everywhere. A squad of Chaos Space Marines, which were escorting the Dark Apostle. Another squad of Chaos Space Marines. Oh, and we're also holding an objective. Another squad of Chaos Space Marines holding down another objective. My Warlord and his Chosen in a Rhino. And yeah, that was my infiltration. I all of a sudden controlled immediately the middle of the table.
Right.
That all of a sudden was just mine.
Which is a real big strength of the Alpha Legion.
Yeah, just having this just mass infiltrating force just show up out of nowhere. Not only was it pretty influential in the fight, but it's just so fluffy. It's just so fluffy.
Yeah, I had 40 cultists like in midfield, right there, like sitting on objectives and ready to attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was facing a big army really fast.
Yeah, it's just so satisfying to see it.
All right, let's talk about your turn 1. What happened?
Turn 1 for me basically was just a general advance, grabbing some objectives. I'm not sure what sort of damage I did this turn. Was this the turn where I hit your warlord? You
actually put a wound on my warlord.
Yeah, because I was shooting at his warlord because I figured
using your havocs and obliterators.
I had a plan to deal with the Sakaran, so I figured I would just take pot shots at his warlord, and I think so I think I did like a wound on him with a las cannon.
Yeah, you last cannoned him, and then I failed my invuln save on the Sky Shield, so he took a wound right away.
Yeah. So that happened. It was just more of a general. It's more of a general chaos advance, really.
Right. You had a Razorback full of Chosen, and they were coming up.
They were coming up the table.
Right.
They were largely ignored for a while of this fight.
They were, because I didn't really see them as a huge threat.
Yeah.
Turns out I was wrong.
You'll see later.
Right.
Okay.
So I see that our camera is running low on battery, so we better wrap this up quickly. We'll do a fast version of our battle report.
Go.
Yeah.
Quick.
Okay.
5 words.
So my turn, I'm basically trying to kill the Dark Apostle. To me, he was the key of he was making your cultists giving them zealot, and then also giving them fearless. If I could make your cultists run, then I figured this battle's going to be over quickly. So I concentrated a lot of my fire on the Dark Apostle. And you had wrapped him really well. So he was in fortifications. He was shrouded because of the dumb rules from the Alpha Legion.
Yeah,
right.
That was great.
You had a bunch of Space Marine meat shields in front of them.
Yep, they were just blocking shots.
So I ended up reducing. I think in that first turn, I think I killed a couple of Chaos Space Marines that were sort of surrounding the Dark Apostle.
Yep.
And that's kind of all I did in that first turn. The sisters got into the Razorback and then moved up a little bit. Most of my shooting, I think, didn't really do anything. Mostly because shrouded. You were shrouded and you were in cover, and you deployed really well. And it was really hard for me to kill things when you had such great either cover saves or armor saves. The Bladers obviously had a 2-up armor save, so things didn't get through them. And then your cultists were all shrouded, so that was. Anyway, I ended up with my focus of fire on your Dark Apostle. I ended up doing not too much in that first turn.
Yeah, all right. My turn 2 basically consisted of, again, moving up. The bikers are riding around, turbo boosting.
Right.
I think they got in position to shoot at your Razorback, which was holding the Sisters of Silence. The Rhino, I think, was shot at. Was it shot at this turn? It might have been shot at. It was shot at. It might have been shot last turn, actually. Anyway, I disembarked. I think I had to disembark, and then I moved my chosen and his warlord up to your Sky Shield landing pad, hoping they wouldn't get noticed. I think this was the turn I also blew up your Mortis Dreadnought.
You did. I think Obliterators got him.
Oh no! Was the warlord dead by this point?
No. Sorry, no. You got my.
Yeah, I think I got your
Mortis Dreadnought.
I got your Mortis Dreadnought first.
Yeah.
So that blew up because of the las cannon fire.
Right.
Which was lucky on my part. My Dark Apostle jumped ship because his
I dropped an Ironclad Dreadnought.
You had dropped an Ironclad Dreadnought,
but I scattered a little bit.
You scattered a little bit, so it gave him some time. He joins a squad of cultists that are like right next to him.
Right.
So he jumps in there, makes a tactical retreat as another squad of cultists runs up and it charges the Dreadnought. And they're zealots. So they're not going to run away. So he just has to waste time.
Man. So you had this beautiful killing machine that was there to kill like elite characters, and then it's tar-pitted fighting.
They made a strategic sacrifice for the greater good of the army.
And the Ironclad Dreadnought was just using its chain fist and just mowing down heretics left and right. But it's like, I don't want to kill you. I want to kill that guy. Yeah.
So it gave him ample time to just run away from that threat. So yeah, I think that was my turn.
I think you moved up your bikers a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I mentioned that, I think.
Right. So in my next turn, I ended up I ended up bringing in another unit of Space Marines with a plasma gun. Yep. They came up behind a group of Space Marines that you had that were holding an objective. I needed that objective, so with combined fire of the bolters from the Space Marines, the plasma gun, the storm bolter from the drop pod, and the snipers, I was able to kill most of that unit.
Yep.
Enough to move you away more than 3 inches away because of all the dead bodies, and so I was able to secure that objective.
Yep.
But then we ended up going into assault between the remaining Space Marines and the Chaos Space Marines that were still there.
Yeah.
I ended up killing one of your bikers.
Yes, you did. You did.
Yeah, so he ended up dead. The Sisters of Silence got into the Razorback and moved up a little bit. But I think at this point, they were in there.
Were they already out by this point?
They might have been out. So what happened is that you had killed the Razorback on the last turn, and so they had come out. And so what they ended up doing is they ended up charging the 2 remaining bikers.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just say that the Sisters of Silence are awesome.
I was shocked
fantastic.
by their
These are toughness
combat.
5 bikers.
Bikers.
Who are like going,
what's this all about?
Yeah, who are these humans who are attacking us with swords?
How very quaint. What is this?
No,
nonsense?
the Sisters of Silence. A little underwhelming with the Flamers in terms of they didn't do a lot of damage because you were so tough.
But Initiative 5, AP 2, +1 strength weaponry.
Oh man, they were
cut some people up.
So let's just talk about that whole assault. So I ended up fighting 2 bikers and then 20 cultists ended up joining this fight.
20 cultists.
And the sisters pretty much wiped out most of the 20 cultists.
By the end of the entire thing, there was 2 sisters left, and I think
2 sisters left,
and maybe a handful of cultists.
Yeah,
the bikers were still. I think the bikers managed to stay alive. Weirdly enough, the bikers managed to stay alive because you focused a lot of your attention on the cultists.
On the cultists, yeah, that's true. But I think that probably would have ended up more likely with the sisters winning that assault.
Yeah, it was looking like that, but it was still difficult to tell.
Right. Right. So we'll quickly go over the highlights.
Highlights.
So you talk about the Mind Veil.
Okay, the Mind Veil. Okay, so I had advanced my chosen squad with the warlord up to a Sky Shield landing pad, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure whether I could successfully get up there because there was it was a 6-inch movement range just to get up there, and there's difficult terrain, and I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm like, wait a minute. He doesn't have any units that can assault me, which is a big selling point of the Mind Veil, because you can use this during your movement phase to escape an assault.
Right.
So that's pretty great right there. But he didn't have anything that could assault my guys at that point in that area.
Okay, so let's talk about the Mind Veil.
Okay. This is great. Squad of Chosen and the Warlord are scooting up to his
Sky Shield.
Sky Shield
landing pad. Yeah.
My mind. So we've just taken out the Mortis Dreadnought. So that's cleared up the area of threats to them, and no one seems to be focusing on them at that moment. So I'm wondering, how do I get up to the Sky Shield landing pad reliably?
Right.
I'm thinking, okay, I don't have enough. I'm not sure. It takes like a turn to get up there, and it's a lot of hassle. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna test out this new artifact, see what it does. Roll the 3d6.
You rolled a 10.
So I rolled a 10, and that's how much I moved during my movement phase, which is what the Mind Veil allows, even if you're in assault. So it's a great way of like escaping an assault, or like doing a nice little hit and run where you can pull back, do shooting, and then run back in again. But I was able to teleport my guys up there. They all activated their combi meltas. Boom, dead Sakaran.
Goodbye, Sakaran.
Sakaran.
Yeah, you had a perfectly equipped unit to kill that Sakaran.
What an Alpha Legion moment.
It was.
A stealthy group of specialists wander up there unnoticed by the enemy, and then make an unexpected maneuver and take something out. Yeah. What an Alpha Legion moment.
Very Alpha Legion. I should have definitely put more bodies up there to stop you.
Yep.
I ended up losing my Warlord because I didn't have any meat shields.
And he got
defenders,
and he got a lot of las cannon shots.
Yeah. So that was a failure on my part, but that was very well played, and that relic was perfect for that.
The Alpha Legion book made a huge difference in this fight. It felt like I was like fielding almost like a completely different army than what I had known.
Some of the other highlights included you blowing up my Ironclad Dreadnought.
Oh yes,
Obliterators.
More Obliterator and las cannon fire.
Yeah, Obliterators were awesome, and they ended up doing, I think, overperforming in this particular battle. They don't get enough love, but
I don't. Yeah, I think they're actually really good for what they do.
And Havocs are great.
Havoc's great.
Yeah, because they end up killing my Warlord and then also contributing to the death of the Dreadnought.
Can you imagine Death Guard Obliterators?
Oh my God, it's gonna be
horrifying.
Tough. Yeah,
horrifying.
That's gonna be super tough.
Horrifying.
Right. So, just through a combination of cards, it turns out that I did not get a bunch of great cards.
Neither did it.
Neither of us. We got bad Maelstrom cards.
So it ended up we had to end our game early.
Right.
So it ended up in a draw.
Yeah, I ended up with First Blood for killing your Rhino.
Yep.
Right.
I ended up with Slay the Warlord.
And then we each got one Maelstrom point.
I think we both got 2 Maelstrom points.
Oh, we got 2 Maelstrom points.
We both got 2 Maelstrom points.
No, we got 1 Maelstrom point each, and then we each had Line Breaker.
We each had Line Breaker. No, but didn't we end up tying with 4?
Yeah, we ended up tying with 4 points.
So that's 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 2 objectives.
We got 2
objectives.
Exactly. So 2 objectives.
First Blood, Line Breaker.
First Blood, Line. And for me, it was
Slay the
Warlord, Line Breaker, 2 objectives.
So at the end of 5 turns, we had to call the game a little bit early because we had a party coming up. So we needed to take all the Warhammer stuff
being sociable
off the cocktail table.
What is this?
Yeah. So we ended up we just at the start of turn 5 we called it.
Yeah.
And it was a tie.
It was a tie. Great time.
Oh, so much fun. Chaos is back for absolutely.
Seriously.
This army would have killed an old Chaos list.
Yeah, easy.
If it was just Chaos Space Marines. Without Shrouded, without Mind Veil, without the cultist having...
Without free vets, without all...
Zealot and then Fearless.
Without all these formations.
Yeah.
Oh.
Totally different result would have happened.
Yeah, totally different
But
result.
instead, you had an army that was facing a pretty tough Iron Hands. You had a Sakaran, you had a Fire Raptor, you had the new Sisters of Silence, all contributing. I think they would have rolled over the old guys, but we fought to a tie.
We fought to a tie.
Too fluffy lists, but nonetheless, I think the Iron Hands normally would have taken that without too much problems, and this time,
just with the combination,
it was a fight to the end.
Yeah, it was a fight to the end. It was great.
Yeah. So for me, my MVP was the Sisters of Silence. The fact that they were able to mow down so many cultists and then hold off the Chaos Bikers. I think they would perform great. I really look forward to seeing them on the battlefield again. And they ended up not even using any of their anti-psychic shenanigans.
Yeah.
And they were still fantastic.
They were pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they're 90 points.
Something.
They're 90 points.
They're cheap for what they are.
For 5 of them.
Yeah.
And just wonderful.
It's difficult for me to name an MVP because the entire army really worked cohesively together. The I could say like maybe it's the Obliterators or the Havocs for their long range fire support, which helped a lot.
Right.
But there was also like the unit like my Warlord and his unit of Chosen had their moment in the sun. Right. The Dark Apostle attracted a lot of your firepower and was able to keep you like really worried. Right. And the Zealot bubble was essential for like holding down the middle line.
Right. I ended up killing the Dark Apostle
after I think it was at the very last turn though.
Yeah. So what ended up killing the Dark Apostle?
I forgot.
Was it the Sisters of Silence? No, it was some shooting attack.
By that point, I figured they had done enough to where that wasn't as huge a factor anymore.
Right.
Because a lot of the army had like done some pretty hefty damage.
Right.
So yeah, Traitor Legions, man. Traitor Legions.
Big thumbs up. Chaos. It was a lot more fun to play. So
yeah, it felt because it's no fun if it's not like if we know who's gonna win already.
Exactly.
It's like it's not fun for you because you're like
Well, it's frustrating if to see you're playing somebody and they're salty or they're obviously not having fun because you know it's kind of one-sided.
Because it's one-sided because it's just
that's
just
good. And you haven't been able to play the side you really wanted to play.
Yeah, for so long, and now
you can.
And now I can. It's great.
So we look forward to playing all the different flavors of Chaos in 2017.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're going to call it an episode.
It's been a long one.
It's been a long one. Oh my God, like an hour and a half. Thanks for sticking with us. Yeah. We hope you have enjoyed it.
For a sort of end of the year-ish wrap up situation.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So why don't you visit our Facebook page? You can say hi there. We'll have pictures of the battle. You can take a look at that.
Again, we always need more friends. Please.
Right. Also, we'll have links to the YouTube. There's a YouTube version of the podcast now, and so you can actually watch us gesticulate throughout the podcast.
Gesticulate.
If that's what you want to watch. Please contact us. Also, we've got an email, theeyeofterrorpodcast@gmail.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on Stitcher, on SoundCloud, and now on YouTube if you want to see this podcast in video form as well as other fun things like some product reviews and some sneak peeks at some stuff. Mm-hmm. So with that, we want to wish you the happiest of holidays. Hope you guys get everything you want for the holidays in terms of models and games. Yeah. And have a happy 2017. With that, I'm George.
And I'm Alec.
And we play 40K. We'll see you guys next year.